Now I'm just going to take the wet sponge, which as you can imagine is a sponge that's wet. I mean, it's very creative naming up here on the platform. As he puts that through the barrel here, he's doing a couple of things. First of all, he's creating a vacuum that you might have just heard collapse there, but he's also introducing moisture to the barrel. So those are two very important components in ensuring that there's nothing still sitting in here flaming over from, again, a previous charge. Soldiers, especially in combat scenarios, are firing off very fast. It's important that their cannon is safe for our charge. Our charge today is about 4.5 ounces of black powder rolled in historically inaccurate tinfoil. Historically, the soldiers are using a variety of different fabrics, typically wool or muslin cloth. Well, that's a great decision back then. It does tend to send smoldering bits of remain over the side of the wall, still flaming that. So obviously not a very good safe choice for the modern day. Go ahead and prepare our ignition. The first thing he's going to do is use what's called the gunner's pick. He's going to insert that into the vent hole, which is kind of doing two things. First of all, it's ensuring our charge is seated in the proper position. He wants to ensure that there is a charge right there. But secondly, he's going to be creating a small little hole in the top of it to allow our friction primer to do all of its work. That's what he's going to be inserting here in the vent hole here in a second. The friction primer is made up with three main components. At the bottom, there's a tube of black powder stored with a copper tube of black powder. Fixed atop that is a chemical known as mercury fulminate. And then, of course, there's a small little brass hook there at the end that he's going to be attaching his lanyard to. So here in a little bit, when he pulls that lanyard, that mercury fulminate is going to experience a lot of friction, ignite that small little tube, and then ignite our larger charge. So, with all that talk about ignition and firing off a cannon, as you'd imagine, it's going to be quite loud. So I'd like you all to cover your ears just like I'm doing so, or record whatever you desire in life. Either way, we'll have two commands left, and it is ready, fire! And there you have it. That wraps up our cannon demonstration. We will be up here to answer any questions you have about the cannon, ourselves, or anything here really about the board. However, we do have a...
How loud was that?
That was loud.
I thought he was going to take a little bit longer than that.
Me too. I plugged my ears and then I couldn't hear what he's saying, so I unplugged and he said, "Go!" And I was like, "Mom!"
Come here, Briggs.
So